Hi, good morning. I am Amy. I am the creative director at My Heart Creative, and I am going to go live a little early today because we have a full day worth of studio work and designs to do and meetings, so we're going early. We're going live a little early. Actually, it's still dark outside, but I tried to light it up right here so you can see me and we can talk. So today we're going to be talking about photography tips. So if you do happen to see this live, feel free to say hello, and I would love that, and share any comments or questions. Also, if you see this later on today, feel free to ask any questions or give a comment or tell me if you like something. So that always means a lot. So I have 10 tips for you. I feel like they're all pretty practical but great things to remember. I'm going to be talking about photography more for the business world, if you're doing a brand shoot or maybe even a product shoot, but this can also be applied to a family photo shoot. So we'll get started. So the first thing is actually not number one, but I'm just going to say, first and foremost, the best thing to do when you're planning out a photo shoot is to plan. So planning ahead, thinking it all through, getting a plan in place is key. So that's what really these tips are all about. So number one, this is tip number one. You want to get inspired. So you can be inspired by another photographer, you can be inspired by some photos that you just saw that are beautiful. You can create mood boards on Pinterest. That's a great way to do it. But you can either also just like gather a bunch of photos, stick them in a Word doc. But the whole goal is to, as designers, we do this a lot. We create mood boards to help communicate a style and a plan and what we're going for a photo shoot or even a brand. But you as a client or as someone who's about to have their photos taken, it is great to see your own inspiration as well. When you're creating these mood boards, also feel free to just gather up. These are pictures that I like. These are pictures that I don't like, and maybe think through why and talk to your photographer or your creative team about, those photos. Also, you might think about gathering just poses you like, settings you like, things like that. So that's all in getting inspired, getting inspiration for the photo shoot. So that was number one. Now, number two, create a shot list. So this is something that we do for our clients, but also something you can do for yourself or would be great in collaboration between a client and someone, a photographer or a creative team. But you want to know ahead of time what you're taking pictures of. So, do we need 3 people over here in this area? Do we want to make sure we get the product with, the accessory? There's so many things to think about, but if you can get a list going, just everything that you might want to take a photo of, that's very helpful. So plan out those different poses, different scenes, different scenarios, groupings like I was saying. Maybe we need a team shot, but we also need 10 headshots. So think through that shot list and get that created. That's very helpful. Number 3, you want to select your wardrobe and what you'll be wearing during the photo shoot. So, just in general, think about the theme. If this is for your business, you definitely want to think how people will perceive the way that you look and what you're wearing. And also, do I want to come off, kind of casual and funky, or do I want to be very business professional? Do I need to wear my lab coat or my suit jacket? What is applicable to your industry and what is also what you want to wear for who you are. So, industry specific is really important, and also just style, and the norms, but also thinking about what sets you apart and what is very you. And if you can bring that out a little bit too, that's good. If you're known for, maybe you are the the CEO, but you're always in sneakers, wear your sneakers, just make sure they're super clean and your favorite pair, things like that. So some really specifics on wardrobes. let's talk about colors. Everyone asks, what should I wear to my photo shoot? So this is just some general tips. I think solids are usually best. I try to wear solids a lot of times. But solids are great. Neutrals are good. This is going to be like, when we say neutral, that doesn't mean just tan, but black, gray, brown and tan, navy, blue, even white sometimes, because it just looks so clean and can be kind of give a peaceful vibe too. And cream is nice as well. So just try to think neutrals, but when you're thinking about colors, just make sure that you do plan a palette. So if your corporate color is red, so like your brand is, you know, you're all red, you may not want to wear, say, like burgundy, but you might want to wear that that red as a pop, or say you know, orange is your color. So you may not want to wear yellow, but throw on a little, you know, orange, you know, jewelry or a scarf or something. So, but use your brand color as a pop, as an accent color, as something to draw the eye, but make sure that you're not wearing a distracting color from your brand or your product's, you know, packaging. So, also, when you're thinking about wardrobe and planning out, you know, think through everything. This is the jewelry you're going to be wearing, the shoes you're going to be wearing, and the clothing. So I like to see 3 to 4 options for a 2-hour photo shoot. So I'm going to take a little drink of my coffee. Remember, it's early. So if you can get options, that's so good for your photos. And here's why. It comes into play in a few different ways. If you have options with your clothing, when you get to the shoot, and you would have pre-planned out your location, which we'll talk about in a minute, but, you know, as you're, the day of, sometimes things feel different, and so you may think, oh, you know, this photo or this outfit would actually look much better in this location now that I'm, you know, here and all the people are around, or having an option also allows you to, maybe you and your partner did coordinate, you know, your colors that you plan to wear, and we're going totally business professional and, you know, looking top notch. But when you show up, your options actually were a little bit more casual than theirs. Having 3 to 4 outfits might say, oh, but this one is my more dressier outfit, so I'm going to pair that with the outfit that they have on in this particular setting. So it just really allows us to, you know, move things around and shift and just make sure you're looking your best, which is very important. So another thing that having multiple options in your wardrobe for a photo shoot does is it helps you to get the most out of your photo shoot. So, you know, if we do a photo shoot and you wear the whole, you know, it's one thing for 2 hours worth of photos, it's going to feel like one moment in time because you have on one outfit. Although some of us wear the same thing almost every day, which I'm okay with that. It's like a uniform. But for a photo shoot, it's nice to try to get the maximum amount. So having on a different outfit kind of represents a different time and a different moment. So if you have on, say, you know, your suit coat in one shot, and that's the time where you're actually, you know, greeting a guest in the conference room or something. And then there's another time that we're trying to show that you know, your team collaborates together. Well, we may want you in a different say collared shirt, and the team is a little more casual maybe, and that kind of then helps represent that moment, that, you know, this is another time. So I like options for so many reasons, but always just try to think through 3 to 4 options for a 2-hour photo shoot, more for the longer that you have. It's so great to have options, especially the larger amounts of people that are going to be involved in the photo shoot or even the video. The more the people are, the more options that are great. So let's see. I want to go back to colors really quickly. Solid colors, I did say that I like solid colors, but I do want to say that bold patterns, although they can be distracting, I do think, though, that sometimes if you like a stripe or you like a pattern, and that may be very you're always in stripes, wear it. You know, just know that, especially on video, small stripes can add a little bit of vibration, but a larger stripe is usually fine. And a pattern can, it can, you know, represent your personality, or bring out your personality. So maybe you just throw a solid on top, like a cardigan or like a denim shirt, that you just have like a pop of pattern. So a lot of times people think stay totally away from stripes, totally away from patterns, although I do think it makes your photos last a little bit longer. I think that sometimes it's okay. We've done photo shoots before where I was wearing a pretty bold pattern, but it was one that I love and I still love and I will wear for a long time because it's just a pretty standard one. But I will say that when you have a bold pattern, it just is, it's what people see. I think it stands out a lot. So just be, you know, maybe you have just one pattern in your options. So okay, one more thing about clothing. This is a big part of these tips because it's important to get ready for what the camera's going to capture. And I brought a little prop. So avoid seasonal clothing. So I'm going to throw this scarf on, and you're going to get a totally different vibe on this video. Now it feels like winter, right? Now it seems like, which it's not very good winter here in Oklahoma, but now, got a tag sticking out. Now I seem like really cuddly, right? And I think this is super cute. But if I want my photo shoot to, or my photos to last me, you know, longer and be, you know, if I'm taking photos more often, which I love that because it keeps everything fresh online, digital, and in your online presence from your social media feed to your website, photos are so important. And so I'm hoping that you're taking them a lot and doing a lot of photo shoots with us. But, you know, a lot of times people, it's a big deal to get the whole company together or to get all the partners and your clients, because we sometimes want clients in photo shoots. So I understand that, you know, usually people do it once or twice a year. So you want those photos to last, you know, and seem relevant and applicable to the time throughout the year. So when you add something seasonal, it instantly kind of dates that photo. So avoid seasonal in your wardrobe. Stay pretty simple, clean where you can. Okay, so speaking of my own prop that I brought for this video, let's talk props and objects. So tip number 4, you want to gather objects. So these are extra elements that can be added to a photo to help frame the shot or add context to the shot. It really can help tell a story. So if you're sitting down with someone and you're meeting with them, you know, you may have your coffee. Sneak a little drink in. But you may have your coffee out. You know, what I like to do is when I'm thinking about props or the objects that will belong in the shoot is what do you normally have when you're doing whatever we're trying to capture to tell the story of what you do and who you are and why you're great. So if when you're meeting, you usually have a notepad and a pen and you have coffee and you have your iPad open, have that ready for the shoot and think through that. So I also, as I think when I'm planning out objects, I like to think about it in 2 different ways. One, you need to think about the objects you may need to bring with you, because if you're going to a coffee shop to stage, you know, a client meeting, you need to maybe bring some of that stuff. But also think about the objects and the props that are in your photo shoot for what you live around every day. So if we're coming to your shop and you have a counter, what are the props? Even though you're not bringing them with you, they're still really objects that are going to be in the photo. What are those objects? And so think about it in 2 ways. What do I need to bring? What maybe is around? And assess that and clean it up. So if you need a laptop in the photo shoot to like explain that, you know, we do digital medical records and we, you know, or whatever the case may be, laptops are in a lot of photos. So wipe it down. Make sure the screen is clean. Make sure that if there's a sticker on it, you're happy with the sticker, or maybe you need a new cover, or it's every little detail that you can pre-plan and pay attention to makes a huge difference in the photo. So one of the things that we do as I'm art directing a photo shoot is when we're looking at the space we're trying to photograph, we can edit that live, while we're in the photo shoot. There's so many times that I'm like grabbing Kleenex boxes off a desk and like hiding it. But if you can pre-plan that, that's so important. So let's say, you're like, okay, Amy said that I need to think about what is my normal state of work. I always have a Sonic drink with me. But maybe, even though every day you might just leave that Sonic cup out, maybe for the photo shoot, think about putting that drink in a different container. Especially, let's say we're going into, an environment that people expect to be pristine and very clean. You want to make sure that every little item that is or prop that's gonna belong in the setting is looking its best. So I brought some things. So like if you look at this, here's a rule: no logos on your props, or at least at a minimum. So if I was to drink out of this, even in this, so I'm drinking out of my coffee cup, which has our logo, which I'm okay with that. If it's your logo, it's okay. But this is, if I'm drinking out of this, that's distracting. So you're thinking about this brand instead of our brand. So it's distracting. I don't mind a simple cup. So like if I needed to drink water, something out of this versus this, you instantly want to look here. Even if you're going to do a water bottle, this one actually has a logo, but it's pretty subtle, so you could probably get away with it. But just think about that. If you're going to have a little drink on hand, try to make sure that the logos are clear. And that comes down to everything. Even, maybe you're walking and, dropped something, and you want to have a briefcase. Have a briefcase or a folder that doesn't have a logo on it or has your logo on it, so that it just stays clean and simple and is not distracting. When you're thinking about those objects, also think style. So if you are, trying to, if you feel like you are, on the go and you want to represent that you, are a mobile this or that, you might want to think about, your items obviously want to feel like that too. So, maybe have a mobile coffee cup. So, but all of those things just take a little bit of planning, and think style, think telling my story, think context, and think clean. So number 5. So this is, after we've done all this planning, we're going to create a pack list. So this is a list that you're going to use, and it's kind of like a shot list, although we're going to pack that shot list. And but it's kind of like a shot list, but you're just saying everything that you want to take to the photo shoot or have at the photo shoot the day of. So, great props, the clothes, the shot list, the inspiration, and so on. Pack list can also include emergency kits. This is things like wipes and fuzz rollers and lipstick and, even like Tide to get a stain out. Do you want to have any water or refreshments at the shoot? Do you need to bring your iPad, your laptop, and your phone? Speaking of phone, that's another thing. Make sure your phone looks clean and things like that. So write a pack list and pack the list. So now we're kind of getting to the location. And I do think that the location should be planned out in the shot list and the inspiration. But my biggest tip for location is to go towards the light. So you want to get a location that it's a huge part of making the scene and the style and the feel of the photos. So choose something that has great natural lighting. Sadly, like I said, it's dark outside right now, so I tried to light this as best I can, but natural light is so much better. And it will make your photos just look 10 times better instantly. So select a location that has, you might try to pick a location. Maybe it's a particular room in your business, or it's where we do a lot more of the photos. Or if we're in a setting and there is a window, maybe we need to open it or move the blinds up so the light can come through. Also think about, okay, where are we going to take these photos? A lighter room allows us to bounce light better. And then I like to have an outdoor location. Even if we're going to do a lot of shots inside, an outdoor location is great to add on, because there's just something beautiful. Everybody knows I like plants, but there's just something beautiful about seeing outside and seeing some green and some life and authenticity, and it's nice. So you get that great lighting, but you also get a nice scene. So think about that. Go towards the light. So number 6, and this is good, communicate. So you want to communicate with your team ahead of time. You want to communicate with your partner, or even with your creative team, and get this planning going. Ask questions, say, hey, I'm wearing, send a picture, I'm wearing this, and just do your best to coordinate and not clash. So if I'm wearing blue, and maybe then the next person doesn't want to wear the exact blue, or maybe we actually own the same shirt, let's not wear the same shirt. Or if one person's wearing a hat, maybe the other person should not wear a hat in this particular wardrobe setting. So think through that. Communicate about the place you want to have the shoot. And also I would say communicate during that shoot, voice your preferences. So if you're live in a photo shoot and you are like, ooh, I don't really like, this particular corner of the store, it really doesn't represent our key products, then let's move away from that. And so voice those preferences and communicate, because that's the best way to share and get the right photos. So okay, here we go. Candid. This is tip number 8. We're almost there. Candid, not cute. That is what we're going for. So when it's so funny, because when we always thinking just act natural, okay, because it's sometimes kind of silly to stage photos of what is going on in your business, because it's something maybe you just do every day naturally. It just comes out of you. But then when you try to act it out in a photo, it gets kind of funny and awkward and uncomfortable. So then it gets silly. It's so easy to crack up. But just think to yourself the whole time, just in your head as you're the model, think just like natural, and just do your thing. Think authentic, think real, smile, and think good thoughts. That's a great way to bring out the candid moments. Also, when you're talking, a lot of times photographers or art directors will say, okay, just talk to each other. Have a real conversation. Say, don't feel like you have to fake a business conversation. Just say, how's it going? How are you guys doing anything tonight? And that way it'll help you engage and be in a real moment, so we can capture those candid times and those candid facial expressions, but you will look like you're maybe engaging with the client. One of the things that sometimes dampers candid moments too in a photo shoot is that we always have to get closer than you feel like is natural, because in a photo sometimes you look really far away from each other. So just try to get close but be present, and just know that you are telling your story through a visual representation in a photograph, and just try to not get crazy. Just be natural. So that's number 8. Candid, not cute. We want candid. We want real. Those are some of the best photos. There's moments for good poses too, so that should be included in your shot list, but a lot of candid moments are great. Okay, number 9, we're getting down to just 2 pretty simple tips here. The last 2 tips, just be open. Be open even though you have made this awesome plan, you have a great wardrobe, you've got the right props, and everyone's coordinated. We've got the board members are coming in at this time, and the partners are set up at this time, and the product is here, or whatever. Just know that the day of the shoot, sometimes things do go crazy, or not crazy, but unexpected things that sometimes are the most beautiful things do happen. So be open to go off of the plan, because sometimes those raw, natural, creative moments end up being actually the best photos, but that there's always a plan so that we're for sure to get the photos that you're expecting, and we're for sure to get some good ones. But just go with the flow during the actual photo shoot. And if you happen to maybe happen upon a great bench you didn't expect, go for it. And allow yourself, as you're thinking through the time, to have a little bit of time in there to play. So open play in a photo shoot is great. Lastly, number 10, it kind of relates to number 9. Just have fun. Here's some tips for having fun. Play some music when you can. Music is super fun. It totally brings up people's emotions. So if you get involved, we did a photo shoot recently with an artist, and speaking of art, I want to talk about this painting. With an artist, and she had music going. It was so great to, music is always wonderful. So if you've got a speaker in the office, or you can play it from a computer, play music. That's a great way to have fun and get everybody jiving. Enjoy your moment in the spotlight. So you've done all of this planning and prepped all of this photo shoot day. You've got everyone's schedules aligned. Everyone's there. You're with your client. Just enjoy your moment. This is your moment to just kind of feel a little pampered in the spotlight, and like you're the celebrity. Enjoy the moment. Try to enjoy the day, and don't let the stress of the photos be on you. That is your moment to shine and be photographed. And enjoy all that hard work you put into your plan. So those are my 10 tips for photography. I'm going to just read the tips one more time. So we're going to get inspired, create a shot list, select your wardrobe, gather props and objects, write a pack list, go towards the light, communicate, candid, not cute, be open, and have fun. So thank you guys so much. Well, no one really. It's early. Everyone's probably still asleep. But thank you so much for watching this. Maybe you're not live, but hopefully you got some good ideas from these tips for your photo shoot. And I just appreciate you joining me. So this painting is from Caitlin Nick. We have a blog up on our website, myheartcreative.com, that talks about this artist, and this painting is so beautiful, and I love it, and it's been in a couple of videos. Actually, we've featured some of our other paintings in our last video. This is called A Hug and a High Five. I mean, how cool is that? So I just wanted to give a shout out to her, and I just love her work, and so happy to have her in our studio. She's got quite a few paintings available here in our space, and if you buy any of the paintings, we don't take any of that like a normal gallery would. It would all go straight to Caitlin, but you can reach out to her online. That's Caitlin Nick, and I'll try to put a link in the comments later so that you can go find her on Instagram if you're interested in this painting. So anyways, have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.